So I'm certain you know. What feast is it today? What do we celebrate today? Does anybody know? What do we call this feast? No, it's not called the Kings. The Kings are the ones who went to see Jesus. What would we call it? The Epiphany. The Epiphany. The Epiphany. The Epiphany. The word Epiphany means manifestation, revelation. And, you know, anybody here from Italy? Nobody here except me? Well, I'm saying that because in Italy, this is the day when the children get gifts. Now, don't you wish you were in Italy today? So you could get all gifts instead of just Christmas Day? So on the Epiphany, on the day of the Epiphany, we get all sorts of gifts. I'd like to know if any one of you can guess, what kind of gifts did I want when I was your age? Can anybody guess? You will never guess. What? Toys? Ah, not just toys. I wanted to have guns, tanks, swords, because I wanted to be a general. That's what I said. When I grow up, I want to be a general. And the Lord was laughing. He said, that's what you think. But today we celebrate the Feast of the Epiphany. And the Epiphany is this feast when, how many were the three kings? How many were the three kings? The ones who didn't answer are the smart ones. We don't know how many there were. We say three kings because there were three gifts. You hear, what gifts did they give the Lord? What gift did they give Jesus at the end? Gold, frankincense. What's frankincense? Does anybody know? What's frankincense? Yeah, that thing that looks like it makes smoke when you go up. And then the third thing was, no, gold was the first one. The third, myrrh. What's myrrh? Somebody says, it sounds like beer. They were giving beer to Jesus. What's myrrh? It's some kind of an ointment, all right? Why did they give these three gifts to Jesus? They gave him gold because they recognized in Jesus a king. They gave him incense because they recognized in Jesus a priest. And they gave him myrrh because they recognized in Jesus the victim, the one who would die for us. And the myrrh was used to cover up the bodies of the dead people. Now, the thing is, these wise men who came from far away entered the house, and the gospel says they saw a child with his mother. How did they get to recognize the king, the priest, and the victim? They saw a child. That's all they saw. Their eyes, the eyes of their body, only saw a child. So what made them see the Messiah? It is a big word. A big word that all of us, the star led them there. But what made them see the Messiah was another type of vision, another type of seeing things, to what we call faith. Because they had faith, they saw not as man sees, but as God sees. Now, do you have faith? How many of you have faith? Raise your hand if you think you have faith. Everybody should raise your hands because we all do. Were you all baptized? Huh? Was everybody here baptized? Then you were given the gift of faith. You're going to Sunday school. Why? Because you believe. You have the gift of faith. You come to church. Why? Because you believe. You have the gift of faith. Now the thing is, we should use this gift everywhere. Not only when we come to church, or when we go to Sunday school, or when we receive communion. We should use the gift of faith everywhere, because faith makes us, helps us see as God sees. Now, when we look at each other just with these eyes, what do we see? I see young kids, young girls, young boys, dressed up in all, it must be cold out there, huh? Is it cold outside? That's why you have all these things. That's all the eyes see. Different ages, some older people in the back. But if you look at everyone in church as God sees, what do you see? You see everyone here as a child of God. So we are all brothers and sisters, because we're all children of the same Father. That's what faith will do. So the same faith that made the way for urine. Look at the child and says, there he is, it's the Messiah. that faith makes us look at each other and say, here we are, we are the children of God. I didn't know I had so many brothers and sisters. Are you all my brothers and sisters? Some of them don't want to be. Are you all my brothers and sisters? Are you brothers and sisters to each other? And what tells you that? Not your eyes, not your family, not what we see on earth, but God. That's why we say, our Father, when we pray. That's what faith will do. Faith will help you see people differently. Faith will help you understand people in a different way. And faith will help you see Jesus' presence in our midst. You know what Jesus said? Wherever there are two or more gathered together in my name, I am in their midst. Now, if we don't have faith, we don't see him. But if we have faith, we see him. Right? So today we celebrate this beautiful thing that the people from far away went over to Bethlehem to see Jesus. They were led by what? What guided them to see Jesus? The star, famous star. But what they were led by was not just the star, was their faith. It was a gift that God gave them, and they used it, and they discovered Jesus. So today we're celebrating the gift of faith, which is not only for one people, but for all of us. Now today, the rest of the day, when you go home, start saying, I cannot just see with these eyes. I have to see with my faith. I cannot just hear with my ears. I have to hear with my faith. I have to be one who sees as God sees, who believes in God truly, and who shows that faith. Because you see, while Mary showed Jesus to the man from the Orient, we have to show Jesus wherever we are. And how do we do that?